Hello, it's the Imperfect Gardener, and we are going to talk about when to start your seedlings indoors. Depending on where you live, you need to look at your time period of when you are going to have your last frost. I live in Michigan. Last frost, it can be up until the end of May. So what I really have been doing this year, and this is the first year I've started indoors. I'm really excited about it. I usually pick up a few seedlings at the Bourdines or somewhere and pick up my tomatoes there and do everything else from seed outside. But I'm trying to extend my growing season, and I'm trying to start some of my own seedlings. And I've been having great success so far. I've already got some things. If I don't make you dizzy, whoop, here we go. I've already got a lot of seedlings over here growing under my grow lights. Some of those I planted 8 to 10 weeks ahead. Some of them 6 weeks ahead, or depending on what it says on the package. So you read your package. For example, this is parsley, and I have some chives here today that I'm starting to. Beautiful little package. On the back of your package, it has all the information about growing your seeds. Now, do you follow that or not? It's up to you. This one right here says I can plant it outside where I live in May, from end of May really to June, but it also says on here, start seeds indoor in a sunny location 6 weeks before planting outdoors, or sow the seed in the garden in a sunny location, later on. But if I want to get started early, I can start indoors 6 weeks before planting outdoors. So that's what I'm doing. And I've just put some chives in here. I've got it labeled. I've got some going in there. And I've also just put in some parsley, says 6 weeks before. The cabbage says six weeks before, and so do the Brussels sprouts. But I've also put in here a couple of other things that I'm just trying out. The watermelon and the cantaloupe. This watermelon right here says, watermelon. Oh, where's the watermelon? Oh, it's over there. Yeah, beautiful seeds. It says to start them indoors 4 weeks before transplanting. Right now it's 6 weeks. And I thought, well, you know what? I haven't always had watermelons grow well in my garden, so I'm going to try doing it early. I got some that are a little earlier. There's 78 days to harvest. You can't see that because it just won't focus. Not that great a camera, is it? So there are so many seeds inside my packet. There's lots of seeds. So I figure, hey, I'm going to start some in here. I'm only putting one in each thing for now, because if these don't grow well, I can still sow it out in the ground later. Same with the cantaloupe. And then the other thing I'm trying is the okra. Okra doesn't say to start it indoors at all. If I look on the package of this okra, you say, why are you growing okra? Oh, it is yummy. If you boil this stuff up and throw it on some rice and beans, I served a mission in Haiti many years ago, and they taught me how to make rice and beans there. That's so good, and they put okra in it. Oh, it's fabulous. Mix it around with it. My mother loves fried okra, so that's why I grow okra, even though I don't live in the South. But it is tasty stuff if you got to pick it when it's just perfect. If you let it grow too long, that okra will be too tough to even chew. You can't even break it hardly. But if you pick it when they're small, like this one right here, ooh, it's so good. Slimy taste and stuff. I know it's got a slimy consistency. That's why some people don't like it, but I love it. It says on here, though, on the directions, which you can't see, but I can, it says sow 2 seeds every 18 inches directly in the garden in full sun after all danger of frost and the ground is warm. Okay, well, that's great. But, hey, you know what? There's a lot of seeds in here, too. And I got 2 kinds of okra this year, the Clemson Spineless and an emerald type of okra. And I'm going to try both of them. What I decided is, hey, I'll throw some in here, just 1 seed in each little cell here. And if a few of these start growing inside nicely and I can get them out there early, we'll see how it goes. If it doesn't work well, I won't do it next year. But I like to, be a scientist, experiment, try out a few things. Normally the okra, seems to me, it just takes a long time to grow here, unless it's a really hot summer. And so I'm going to try starting it indoors and see if it works. Maybe it won't. Maybe that's why in the package it doesn't say to start it indoors, but I think it just says that because they know there's plenty of time for it to grow outdoors. And, I want to try to extend the season. So what I'm going to do is, hopefully, part of all of these things that I'm starting indoors are going to be growing wonderfully, and I've still got seeds in the packets down here where I will be able to also sow some straight seed into the ground And having both of those, I'll have, the ones that I started early will be ready to pick and eat before the ones that I start later. And so that's going to extend my growing season. The other thing I'm going to try this year, and I've done this in the past by buying stuff at the market, is just, things like cucumbers and squash, especially the zucchini right here. That grows really fast. You get a lot of it grow here in Michigan. Wonderfully grows. However, what I have done in the past is I've usually picked up at least one that's already started plant from a nursery in the area. And this year, what I'm going to do is start it myself. But I'm going to wait because even now it's like 6 weeks before the season for planting outdoors. And I'm going to wait because they grow so fast. It would be way too big indoors if I started it now. So I'm going to wait and start it about 3 to 4 weeks before, maybe only 3 weeks before we plant outside. And that way I'll have a nice little plant started, put it in the ground. I'll get some early squash, some early cucumbers, and then while the rest of it is still growing and getting ready, I'll have a couple of plants that'll grow, harvest, and, then I'll have a longer season. And cucumbers, can I tell you about cucumbers? I love cucumbers. I have bought tons of cucumbers this year. I have I don't know how many. Let's look at this. Oh my goodness, there's cucumber. Under here there's more cucumbers. I like the kinds you eat fresh. I've never pickled before, so I didn't buy pickling cucumbers. Maybe next year. I don't know. But I am loving to eat the cucumbers. Yum, 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 in a salad, and my family loves them. So I've got all these varieties. I'm just doing a few at a time so that on my shelf over here, what will start happening is I'm going to have some of my lights. I finally got my lights on the bottom down there. So I have 3 shelves with lights. And there's also another top shelf up there just for storing stuff on. But my 3 shelves with lights, then the ones that are getting taller now, I'm going to raise up some of the lights a little higher and put the taller plants there. And then these shorter, fresh ones that are just going to be starting to pop up will be down lower. Also, pay attention to how long it takes things to pop out of the ground. For example, the okra. If I didn't know, the Brussels sprouts and cabbage might be popping up in 8 days or something. This stuff takes 12 to 14 days to germinate on this okra. So I need to not be worried when the okra doesn't come up the same time as the other things on this unit here. What do you call this thing? I don't know. A tray. This tray. Yeah, it's a tray, and it's got little cells in it. When I call things the wrong word, don't worry about that. I don't know why. My vocabulary gets mixed up sometimes and a little crazy. But I still grow things, and it's fun. So one of the things about being an imperfect gardener is you get to try out new things, and you don't have to be perfect, and you don't have to worry if they don't work. That's another reason people say, why do I have such a big garden? Why? Why do you have such a big garden? Well, I have a big garden because then I can experiment and try things out. I can also grow lots of something so that if one kind doesn't work out or one type doesn't work out, I still might get the vegetables from something else. So one of my cucumbers doesn't work. Hey, I got 6 other types of cucumbers. Somewhere along the line, I'm going to get some cucumbers this year. It's just fun. It's fun to try out new things. You can try these things out. Does your garden need to be this big? Absolutely not. You might start out with 1 packet of cucumber seeds and 1 packet of zucchini seeds. Find a little spot out back, throw them in the ground, see what happens. Next thing you know, the next year you make it a little bigger. Just do what works for you. And don't be afraid to try something new. Have a fun time gardening.